Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Long. With me, we have Beverly Domengeaux, who is the director with St. Mary Council on Aging. And it is always a pleasure to have you here, as always. And the first thing we want to talk about, because it is the month of May, we're right at the beginning of May, and it is indeed Senior Month. We want to honor our seniors, and you know how I feel about it, especially how I felt about my grandmother. So what is Senior Month?
Okay, Senior Month, we celebrate, excuse me, I put my glasses on, I'm getting where I have to have some. We have, the month of May is always designated, and we called it Older Americans Month. We started this several years ago. And this year, our theme is Aging Unbound, because we believe firmly, even though we've passed the golden age of 65, we still are able to embrace the opportunity to change, because the world is always changing. It's not like what we grew up, so we have to learn to change. We can explore things that we can do as we get older. We make out a wish list, and then you'd be surprised what some people put on the wish list. And we stay engaged in the community. That's one thing that I don't see that is being pushed for the younger ones, but I think for the seniors, we need now, like we're gonna have Maine to Bayou Saturday, and everybody's all in the Black Bear Festival. Everybody's already, we're gonna pick up a group and let them go and meet with the merchants. And the last thing is, when you age, you form different relationships because you have in common with some people that you didn't even realize that they had the same desires that you had, whether you achieved them when you were younger or you're still achieving it. And we got overachievers that are still senior citizens.
Yeah.
So for us here locally, we have planned some activities. Of course, we participated in the National Day of Prayer at all the facilities. We've got the Bayou Maine Bear Festival. We're having a Mother's Day tea, and all of our ladies are going to be treated to a special celebration and really going to have a tea, okay? We're going to have lunch at the Franklin Senior Center on the 13th, where we will also have crafts and desserts. And we have a delicious lunch for $10 a plate. It's, I believe it's meatloaf, mashed potatoes, vegetable, and bread, and it's always good. You can eat in or take out.
Now this, of course, I want to be clear, because I know there's a couple other activities you want to mention, but this is for the people who are actually participants at the senior sites.
No,
is
this
that right?
anybody, at this lunch, anybody can come as long as they got $10.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Of course, we got our silver screen movie that's coming up, okay?
And that, of course, is open to the public. I can attest to that.
And we're gonna have a special Memorial Day ceremony at all sites. All of our mayors and the parish president have signed the proclamation, and I just want to say to the public, if you have a senior neighbor or something, tell them have a happy day. Give them a big hug, even though they say that's not allowed anymore. That's the government. But make the senior know that you appreciate them, because a lot of us don't have family. We depend on our neighbors and our friends and our church people. And just walking down the street, I had to stop coming up here to get gas, and I had 4 people walk by and say, "Have a nice day, lady." I thought that was really, really nice. It made me feel good, made me smile.
Yes.
But we enjoy our month, and of course we will have choose a Mother of the Year, okay? And hopefully,
I love that, Mother of the Year. Okay, I like that.
I mean, we do that every year, you know, and it's a time. May, to me, is the time to celebrate being a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, or just being a female.
Awesome. Well, also, too, you have the intergenerational event that's typically held between high schoolers as well as the older Americans in your organization. And the last one was held in April May, unfortunately, is not unfortunate, but you're not able to meet because there's graduation.
Well, they got the ring ceremony, they got the graduation ceremony, they had the proms, okay? So everybody had a very, very busy calendar.
Yes, right. But of course,
But we'll
onward.
start back up.
Yep. Next school year. So
Sure
that'll
will.
be in August. And from what I understand, school is starting earlier and earlier. I believe it begins either the first or second week in August. So that'll be starting up again, like you said, in August. But come on back. I'm going to wait. I have a very interesting conversation I want to have with you, but I'm probably going to wait to the very end. So that means you have to stick around for that very interesting conversation that I would like to have with Ms. Beverly. So come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. Again, I'm your host, Danica Long. With me, we have Beverly Domengeaux, who's the director of St. Mary Council on Aging. If you're going to stick around, I hope you stick around to the very end because we have a very interesting conversation to be had. She has no idea what it's about, so I'm going to, and I never do this. I will tell you, now we were talking, I never do sneak attacks, but this one I think is going to make for a very interesting conversation. So, but this next conversation, let's talk about budget. I know throughout the many years that you have been at the helm of this organization, you've had so many peaks, so many valleys when it comes to budgets and keeping your money so that you can afford to do a lot of the services that you provide.
Right.
Where are you currently within the budget?
Well, unfortunately, we have had already been notified that we had budget cuts, that we had to have budget cuts because of the cost of everything going up and everything. Even the cost of our meals went up. So I just recently went to Baton Rouge, and we got part of the budget put back in. They'll have to be voted on. But there again, you know, our philosophy at St. Mary Council on Aging is we're going to take care of our people. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of fundraisers. You're going to see a lot of canned shakes, whatever they call it. You're going to see us at the festivals selling our crafts and all, because we are determined that we're going to continue to take care of the seniors and not have to cut any services. Which if you just take a straight budget the way what the federal and state government gives it, and the municipalities, you'd have to do, but because of the cost of gas and all this other. But my board met last week, and we said we're not going to cut. We're going to keep going, except I have to put new services on hold for a while. So if you're calling in and wanting services, you'll be told it'll be after July the 1st till we can get with you. So.
Yes. I mean, this has to be kind of put you in a mindset of being just frustrated.
Very much so, because bottom line is, to me, the seniors have paid their dues. They should be appreciated more, okay? Yes, some of us get Social Security checks, some get other kind of checks. But bottom line is, the cost of our living has gone up just like the cost of everybody else's living. And, you know, I go back to, what do you call us, the greatest generation? Greatest generation. Well, we used to pay 12 cents for a loaf of bread, too.
That's right.
So
right. Yeah.
it's kind of hard to adjust to the way we have had life and had to make the changes. But we're going to keep going with our seniors. We're going to keep 3 senior centers open and keep the seniors moving.
Yeah. Have you had much support from the delegations? You know, our legislators, local as well as on the state level.
I cannot. Our local ones, Senator Allen and Benny Blunt and Amity, they've always been on board with us, and they talk to their constituents and they stand up for us. Kennedy and the people in Washington, they're a little hesitant, but they've come on board. Okay, they do know that the senior people are needed in every community. So is it
promising? Is that,
it's promising.
Okay.
It's promising.
Okay. Well, I like to hear that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So this hold is not necessarily in vain.
No. The thing is, and this is what I tell my seniors, they need to speak up a little bit more, and they need to tell people the services that we do and that other community agencies do that help them keep on living the life that they're living, because they're not getting denied anything.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, oh, we got to save it. Got 30 seconds. So going into this next segment, we'll talk about it. It's a little disheartening, you know, for these next two questions that I have for you, but I know it's a reality that you have to deal with all the time. So you guys come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast on KWBJ TV 22.
Drink.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, we are here with Beverly Domengeaux, who's the director of St. Mary Council on Aging. Ms. Beverly, so I told you, you know, I want to address this with you because it's a reality for you and you have to deal with it all the time. The first thing I want to talk about are about the clients themselves. Like, you know, you provide services like transportation, Meals on Wheels. Also, you know, they are able to...
Homemaker.
Yeah, homemaker services. So, and also just, you know, even for just respite care for a lot of caregivers who, you know, just need a little time off and someone come into the home to help out with the client.
Right.
However, you know, you have some clients, and I know, look, I believe in, you know, the emotional support of an animal.
Right.
But then you have some that may have, their home is overrun with pets and all kinds of cats and dogs. And it's already, you know, challenging to provide for one person. But then you have this, and it's kind of it's a situation that is going on.
It's a situation.
And in addition to that, there are, and it saddens me so much, where you have family members who live within walking distance or driving distance of their family members, and they don't check on them. I mean, this is a harsh reality that you have to deal with.
It is, and it's hurtful. And I can tell, and I hope some of my clients that are watching will understand. I've been going out and doing some reassessments, and I'm finding that some of our seniors have as many as 5 or 6 animals. And, you know, being clinically myself, being a nurse myself, that is not good. Now, one pet, yes, that helps with the depression and the anxiety. That gives me something. But, you know, you're asking us to take care of your nutrition needs, and yet you're taking care of 5 animal needs. So we're going to have some conversations with the seniors. I have a lot of conversations with family members that I know that live nearby or could look in on grandma or auntie or whoever they are. They said, well, we have families. And I said, yeah, but you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, okay? I have a very strong opinion about them leaving the open. Yeah, we're cantankerous. Yeah, we're set in our ways. And, but we still need the love and the support of our family members, and we don't need it just one day a year. We need it every day when they need things. And as we get older, we can't get around. And I'll use, one of my clients said, well, my son will take me to my doctor's appointments. And he very quickly says, Mom, I can't take that much time off from work, which is true. So therefore, we transport them. I mean, I'm willing to work with the families on anything. But also, they need to understand that's their parents, that's their family. We're all a big family. Everybody that has any services from us, they consider they're part of our family. But young people don't realize that we get where we can't do a lot of the things that we used to do, okay? We don't see as well. We're not as mobile as we are. So every little bit helps.
Let's just say this. I mean, you do quite a lot for a lot of these families, and all you're asking is check on your family member. Yes, you may fill in the gap, but this is still your parent, grandmother, niece, uncle or somebody. You know, it's still family. So just checking on that individual, I think, is really what you're saying.
And that's what I try to tell the family members. You are family. Okay, we're going to help, but we're not going to take your place.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and a little hug and a little smile, and and you know, it can just be a telephone call. Hi, Granny, how you doing?
That's right.
Okay, and it cheers them up.
Yeah. Let's get to this before we go to break as
Okay.
well. Oh, look at that. See how time flies? Well, we'll be able to do both. Because
Okay.
I do want to talk a little bit about employment.
Okay.
And then, you know, just kind of really the shortage of workers. I mean,
Right.
it's again, another harsh reality you have to deal with. But hopefully maybe through this segment, you'll get maybe some more people at least inquiring for employment because jobs are also very scarce. So come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. We have much more to cover. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. Let's get right into it because I still have that big question that I would like to have this conversation with Ms. Beverly because she's always a pleasure to talk to when it comes to these matters. So the first question, of course, I want to talk about employment. So I know we kind of alluded to the fact that there's a shortage of employees.
Yes, there is.
I mean, how are you maintaining and hopefully, like I said, with this show, maybe they'll start to pour in.
Well, you know, I say it takes a heart to take any job with us, whether you're delivering the meals or you're running the senior center or you're cleaning the house or you're sitting at respite to give the caregivers some time off. You have to have heart, okay? And not all our people live in the best living conditions either. We try to keep it as best we can. But I'm finding that the people don't want to work, okay? They come in, they give an application, and then when I call them and ask them to come back for the interview, they never show up. We do require that they use their own vehicle, but we do pay mileage. We have I think, pretty good deal on that. But I'm not finding that people understand the importance of doing this every day. And so it's a lot of training and a lot, they got to pack the meals and they got to carry the meals, but also they're my eyes and ears to let me know, does that client need something else or is there some way we could help them? We found them on the floor and had to call 911. We found them in one lady in the closet. We had to get a lot of these people do not have anybody, and we're trying to get everybody to get the safe button so that at least somebody will answer. But that's kind of hard, okay? But what we're finding is the people, they don't have the heart for it. They get depressed very easily, okay? I'm talking about the younger people.
Right, they get a little discouraged.
They get very discouraged, and of course my older ones that apply, they have to lift the containers and carry the food, and they have to be able to lift 50 pounds, okay? Well, some of these people cannot lift 50 pounds. Yeah. So I think you enjoy it. You become part of the family, and we got job openings.
Okay. With that said, let's get right to the question.
Go ahead.
And it sparked my interest or my mind when you mentioned about the going to some of these events like National Day of Prayer, going to council meetings. And it's mostly our older citizens that go, and the younger people are not getting involved. So who is to blame for a lot of this? And I've had this conversation with my mother. I said, is it the greatest generation? Is it the baby boomers? Is it the Generation X or the millennials, Gen Z is just kind of coming on board? But why do we have such a disconnect? And my answer was, I told her it was the baby boomers. I said because they got comfortable. They just got to a point where they started achieving a lot of things in life, with their jobs, their communities, where they were living, and they just got comfortable. No one set aside and said, hey, here's the blueprint for life. This is what you learned. This is what we went through. Here's our experience. So what do you say?
Okay, let's back up. Okay, my generation, the great generation, we were taught by family members, by our parents, by our grandparents, that you got to be a part of the community, okay? So yes, we're still that. Those of us that are 70 and above, we still feel like if they put something on the TV or in the newspaper or on the radio, we're going to go and see because we're part of that community. The baby boomers, and I call them the flower children, okay? They were more free. Oh, we don't want to bother with that. We don't want to bother with that. So somewhere we, and I'm sorry I'm talking with my hands, but I always do that. Somewhere we had a gap, okay? And now we got, I don't know what you call this new group, okay? They don't see what's in it for me. Like our local clubs like Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions and everything, they're losing memberships and they're closing up. We don't have them anymore, okay? Because the young people don't see that they're getting any benefit out of it.
So that answers my question. Hey, you baby boomers, it's all your fault. So you should have showed us.
I didn't say that, she did.
All right, thank you very much. See you guys next time. Take care.